On August 27, 2011, concerned citizens gathered in Burnaby, BC to express solidarity with protesters in Washington, D.C. and to protest the increase of pipelines and oil tankers to facilitate the expansion of the Alberta tar sands. They marched to Kinder Morgan's West Ridge Terminal and the site of a massive oil spill from a ruptured pipeline in 2007.
Thank you so much for coming out. We wanted to say a few words just before we begin about what we're doing here today. As folks know, there's been a lot of talk about civil disobedience recently, a lot of talk about direct action, and we didn't necessarily organize this protest to be that today, but I don't want it to indicate in any way that we're not supportive of doing that in the future and in the near future. You know, Dave Dewart from Streams of Justice made a call in the middle of summer saying, you know, there's this action going on in D.C., we should do something here. And what we decided to do is, rather than being downtown and rather than being at these consulates and these offices where we don't actually get to see what the site of this destruction is and where the infrastructure is, we actually thought that it would be good to come out actually where this is going on. As Ben highlighted, we're at the terminal, we're at where the infrastructure is, where the pipelines are. People will see today, and we'll hear from speakers today about the Chevron refinery that's on the the north end of Burnaby here on the coast of the Burrard Inlet. We'll hear about the storage farms for oil that are on the side of Burnaby Mountain, the Kinder Morgan terminal and the Shell facilities that are right by Lake City Way, the SkyTrain station there. There's all sorts of oil infrastructure that's going to be supporting the tar sands right here in our backyard. And in that spirit, what we want to do is we want to highlight this infrastructure to people, because we're going to have to eventually take the fight on ourselves, right? We realize that the governments and the corporations aren't really listening. How many people here believe that Harper is going to do something credible about the tar sands? No one, right? I mean, we can't rely on the federal government or these representatives of ours, quote-unquote representative of ours, to make change. People are going to have to do it themselves. And that's why we're here, to see where that change can be made. We're going to see that today. And you know, civil disobedience and direct action isn't something new. I know that the climate movement is really emphasizing it right now. But communities in the global south, indigenous communities across North America, have been standing in the way of infrastructure for many, many years. We've seen this happen all throughout BC, where indigenous communities are often the front lines of stopping this infrastructure. We're only joining that fight. We're only standing up in solidarity with these communities that have been doing it for a very long time. So I'm hoping people are also not only marching here with us today, but committing themselves to take action themselves against these projects. In that vein, we have people walking around with sign-up sheets for people that want to be a part of a training, a direct action training, a civil disobedience training that will be happening in the coming month or so. So if people want to look at the sign-up sheets, there's several people walking around with them. You'll get an email and you'll find out about when those trainings are happening. So I just wanted to welcome everyone and say thanks. I'm going to pass this over to Tria to march us down to the terminal.